Okay, so today I thought I'd make a short video about how I'm gonna get the front axle on this car situated same as the rear axle, whereas their 35-inch tires on this are positioned rearward 6 inches. Though on the front end, it's lifted with the original suspension modified, though to get the front differential to clear on it, it's gonna have to be moved forward 6 inches, same as the rear. So that puts the pinion center section just on the other side of this space right here. So then that'll have to be cut off there. The whole front end will have to be cut out with the subframe. And then to get the what's going to be a 3-link suspension setup on it, there's going to have to be a piece of L channel that goes from this part of the bolt-on subframe, goes along the underside of the car and bolts through the floor along the factory unibody frame rail that goes right there and down and under. And then the 3-link on the front end won't be necessarily perfectly square with the frame rails. It'll be canted like a V with the panhard bar added to it. And then optimally wanted to get some square tubing, frame rail the whole underside of the thing, similar to a truck, but keep it lower profile. But that's not going to work with the aluminum and iron tariffs. So this plow I made here has a long piece of L channel on it. It's going to be cut in half. Each half of that end L channel is going to be reused to make the substructure for that front axle. And then this rod joint here with that big bushing on it and the frame it attaches to is going to be welded further back under the car to that L channel, bolted to the floor and welded to the subframe that's bolted to the unibody. So it's all one singular bolt-on piece. So that'll become the rear 3-link bushing. And that panhard bar that I currently made on it, that bolts on right there, goes under the car. That'll become the upper bushing on the 2 links of the 3-link. Then I have to get a adjustable bushing, threaded one, so that I can dial in the caster angle. And then once that's done, the whole center section of that front frame structure is going to have to be cut out, steering rack removed, likely going to end up needing to reinforce it somewhere else so that it ties the nose of the car together in front of the axle, not behind it, like this L channel piece right here. Needs another piece of L channel that goes from it to the one on the other side, completely replacing the cross member there. And then the thing with these cat swaps is that engine is very heavy. So having that only 2-wheel drive is severe handicap. And with the Eaton TRO 9500 series transmissions Gonna have to look into a possibly going to a machine shop, getting them to water jet out plate section that'll bolt on to where the rear pinion bearing seal retainer bolts onto the back of the transmission, and then build a geared transfer case off of that, just water jetting out some 1/4 inch and 2-inch sheet metal. You know, it's like $500 material for that, but then they charge about $180 an hour for water jetting, so that's pretty cheap. And then you just weld it together yourself, put bearings on it, and then that's done with. So, also likely going to replace the flange on this axle here with a bolt flange similar to the one on the back axle of that AEM 1150 with the 6-inch square bolt pattern. So I'll pull the pinion out of this, cut out a disc for it, weld that to it, and convert it to a flange opposed to a U-joint cap. So then that way I can get a second 488 small Ford drive shaft for it, and it would just use standard 488 drive shafts for the front and the rear. But anyways, there's not too much going on. Have to weld this bar back onto there. Decided to put a straight connector on the water jacket there for the radiator. The cork gasket. Wasn't too much fender trimming that needed to be done there. There's about a 1/4 inch space between the tire and the frame there on the inside, on each side. So to position that axle, pretty well perfect for 35s. Yep. And then once that front axle is situated, that 10-4 will likely be able to be moved further back because that front subframe center section won't be there. So we'll be able to drop. The transmission will clear more. So we'll go down an inch or 2 and back 15 or so that the weight is distributed better. Not so front heavy and such.